Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation coach under the sun. Reason why there's no such coaching program like my coaching program, and nobody spends as much time with and on their clients like I do. True story. 2 to 3 times per week is the frequency with which I get together with all of my clients. The regular package is exactly this on Zoom or phone calls. And the deluxe one requires 3 mandatory sessions a week, as well as access to me over emails, text messages, as well as audios. But your audios have to be 5 minutes max. So that's the most hand holding that I can possibly offer in my coaching. And all the information is below. I recommend highly subscribing to my monthly Magic and Miracles monthly audios. As I already discussed many times, but for those of you who are new and just tuning in, here's the explanation. I no longer record educational audios for my channel because I decided to make it a sort of a never-ending audiobook, an instruction, a coaching of sorts. Okay, it's the introductory coaching level where I essentially discuss things in depth. Okay, we discuss everything from SP to money to parallel realities to remote viewing to everything and anything you can imagine. Things that I quite frankly did not want to share on my YouTube channel, like magic spells, manipulating energy, etc., because in the past I've gotten some really bizarre comments about that, usually from religious people, and I just didn't feel like dealing with that. And also because the audios do contain information that is strictly my coaching. So when you come into coaching with me one-on-one, there's a lot of stuff that I do share in those audios. I can't help but to, because it's necessary for me to explain. So the subscription right now is $350. It will definitely go up because, like I said, the information that you get is quite extensive, and the upgrade from that is the deluxe version of that package. It contains 2 phone calls, so if you wanted to ask questions about something or your personal life, you could do that. Now ultimately, of course, the ultimate version of this is one-on-one, of which I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching. Some people, 1 month or 2 months is enough depending on your situation. Some people 6 months, okay, some people a year. I don't know your situation, you know your situation. And so it's, depends on how much processing you have to do, which we do in coaching, and how much you have to discuss to ultimately part with the old you and embark on this journey of becoming the magician that you ultimately are underneath it all. Okay, so again, all the info is below. If you need to book me for an hour first, you can do that as well to make sure I'm your kind of coach. So as promised, I'm going to continue answering questions from my mailbox, which this is like emails that I haven't answered because I didn't get a chance to. As soon as I got on YouTube, I started, being bombarded by these questions from everybody, and I, never got the chance to answer a lot of them. So thank you very much to everybody who sent me all these emails. But the thing is, I'm answering them now in forms of these audios from my channel. And so the question, of course, some questions are repeat themselves, some emails. And so the question came up for me, what stood out to me this time is, can you manifest instantaneously? And what's the difference between a person who manifests instantaneously and the person who doesn't? Okay, so not to brag, parenthesis here, but I'm just always going to tell you the truth. And most of you, if not all of you on my channel and listening in, know that I don't bullshit people. I'm just so straightforward. I couldn't care less. I don't care if it's unpopular. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Okay. So most of the time, if somebody comes into my coaching and they really fucking focus, okay, they zero in on what they need to do, and provided that they don't have a lot of drama, trauma, panorama to process through, not too much, okay? I mean, what's too much? You know, if it's something that requires more attention, then ultimately you're going to have to spend more time on it, obviously. But it has happened in my coaching over and over again that if the person took my suggestions and they really focused and zeroed in, like I said, they have made progress within a month. This has happened, a month and a half, 2 months maximum. Okay. So what that tells you, though, is that the situation becomes and started to manifest things like almost instantaneously. You know, like we were talking about something in many cases in my coaching with my clients, discussing a goal, a manifestational goal. And in a couple of days, a week maximum, and literally most of the time in a couple of days, this person would end up getting that something. And it would be so fast in some cases, like almost instantaneously, like I said, where they would be kind of blown away, overwhelmed. And again, I'm not bragging. I'm actually bragging on my clients, if anything, because they really stuck to it and they really believed in what they were doing. Okay. I mean, you have to take this to heart. I mean, there's no other way, right? So the idea then becomes, so why does one person do that and the other one, it takes months, if not years? Well, the answer is really simple. You need to be on purpose, even in coaching, okay? You need to follow through with everything I'm giving you. And then after the coaching is ended, you need to continue doing that shit. And you need to demand, okay? You're not begging, you're not chasing. You need to demand that the universe gives you results. And I think the idea is this, is that your understanding should be situated that not just in coaching, but in everyday life, like I said afterwards, you always had the power to command and to get results immediately anyway. I'm just uncovering the golden Buddha that you are and presenting the real you to you in my coaching. And again, if you take my guidance, you'll succeed. That's always been there. And so at no point should you really be waiting or complaining about the delay. If there is a delay, in other words, you have something to explore. Let's just say the same situation comes up, like kind of like a cycle, never-ending cycle of bad relationships, of money problems, and this, that, and the other, whatever your situation might be. The situation is presenting to you over and over again, and the reason why you're not making any progress is so simple. Okay, it's extraordinarily simple, darling, is because the situation presents itself to you because you still have something to confront, something to process. Or you're just not believing in your power and you're not taking actions. You're not making decisions. Decisions are necessary. Okay? Now, parenthesis here, the decision that you have to make may not reflect right now the current circumstances. Meaning, okay, if you're sitting here and you're fucking depressed and you have no money or something, you know, it would be a far cry for you to, you know, kind of maybe accept that you can manifest $1 million in the next month. Okay, fine, not $1 million. Let me not blow your mind completely. But let's just say, I don't know, 20, 30, 50K, right? $50,000. But I can make it happen if you get into my coaching, no fucking problem. Not even bragging. Why? Because I know how to turn your mind around to the situations that you already have. Again, if you dive into this truth and if you allow yourself to penetrate this truth that is already there, I'm just guiding you to reveal it to yourself, that's another story. Okay, but you always have the choice, right? To buy into the present circumstance that you yourself created because of drama, trauma, panorama, or to start buying into a different situation that could very well present itself to you in the most immediate future. if you start thinking in a way that the person thinks with the 50K or with $1 million. That's it. It's literally a choice. Okay? And of course, no question, if you've got some resentment, drama, trauma, panorama, like I always say, you do have to process this. Something amazing happens. Let me just tell you this. Like yesterday, I had I had a really great day actually with my clients, as I always do. But particularly yesterday, like a lot of my clients right now are having breakthroughs. Like I'm literally blown away. But it was clear, like it's simultaneously with a few clients of mine right now where it's like they're leaving the past behind, the past resentment, past whatever situations that have lasted years in some cases, this and that, and suddenly the new reality just reveals itself. That's it. It's not that, again, I want to stress that it isn't that, and I discussed this last time, yesterday in the live that I went on impromptu, where it's not like some shit isn't going to happen to you. It's how you deal with it, right? It's what actions are you going to take to move through it like as quickly as you can, okay? And by the way, I found a perfect solution. It's in the works. It is just done already is what it really is. And actually, parenthesis here, it makes me, at the end of all of this, like, I feel really good about all of this because, because what I created here with you guys, this rapport, this magic and miracles community, obviously attracts jealousy. And obviously attracts copycats, and that makes me feel really good. Not for nothing. And makes me feel good about my integrity of creating content that's authentic. And when I said yesterday, I don't care about subscribers, I said that because it's not important for me to get some kind of external superficial validation. It's important for me to see results, which is what I'm talking about right now. To me, that's way more gratifying than any kind of fucking subscriber count. Telling the truth to people and really making a difference in their life instead of lifting somebody else's material. Yeah, that to me is way more satisfying. And so the idea then becomes that when you're too in this mix of drama, trauma, panorama for longer periods of time, then you cannot manifest quickly. It's just, the idea is literally parallel worlds. You're in a parallel world in which the drama, trauma, panorama continues. Whereas if you just decide to have a solution, even though it's not apparent to you right now, it will show up. It's just everything I've done in life. And again, it's not like shit show situations don't show up, okay? Even in coach's life. Even a coach can be like really flabbergasted, like, because like when you're an honest person, you don't do shit like that. It's just so beyond me. I was a little bit like really taken aback that somebody is capable of lies like that. Anyway, and just feeling entitled to copying. It's just all sorts of weird. But the thing is, if you decide on a solution and be like, okay, it looks like a shit show right now, but I know there is a way. I just know there is a way. So even though right now I'm very not pleased with with what I'm seeing, and I'm really kind of like irritated, I can imagine a solution that would soothe me. I would imagine a solution that would completely get rid of the situation. And I can go back to focusing on my magical life. And I think this is entirely when you're able to commit to that decision. And even though people may be telling you, lawyers can tell you something is impossible and this and that. And there have been times actually that this has happened, and I've shared this on my channel where my own very lawyers told me, Anna, this is impossible. There's no way, you don't have enough time, blah, 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 blah. And for me, it was like, okay, you don't understand like what I'm doing here and blah, blah, blah. I didn't even say anything to them. I just went back into myself, and within hours, turned the situation around completely by deciding on a completely opposite situation. And of course, when I asked them, oh, by the way, like 3 hours ago, you told me something completely different. They're like, no, I didn't. So I was in a different world. Okay, I mean, literally is how it works. And so again, the instantaneous manifestation depends on how freely can you decide, how easily can you commit to this new solution, and how imaginative are you really, right? How are you reacting to somebody telling you it's impossible? Are you just going to give up, or are you just going to persevere? And I feel like a lot of people who temporarily are discouraged end up really getting discouraged because just something happens and they're like, maybe I can do it. Me, I'm a stubborn motherfucker, like really, like a donkey, okay? I will, just research and do this, that, and the other, make phone calls, blah, 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 until I get my way. I have a journalism degree in journalism, so I know how to make shit happen. I know how to research. But I will not give up until I get my way, in a legitimate way, of course, which is why I care about justice so much. But the idea is to really understand what it is that you want and do not stop, right? So if something discouraging happens, who cares? There's an answer, right? So if you have a desire, if you know your truth, if you have already established a rapport with this desire and you know that this is your right to get this way, and it's your right to achieve this would make your life a lot easier, then you kind of like halfway there, So it doesn't really matter if momentarily there's a delay of some kind or a complication, this and that. Your decision still stands. And I think this is exactly what it really is. Because, the solutions really show up when you start making up your mind that there is a solution. Okay? The manifestation really shows up when you invite it in, when you don't reject it with your drama, trauma, panorama. And you may be doing it so unconsciously, again, because, again, you're a human being, you have emotions and this and that, and this is normal. I want you to know that emotions such as anger, frustration, irritation, whatever, sadness, blah, blah, blah. All of this is very, very normal. Let's normalize not being fucking happy 24/7. Okay, this is not what is required from you. And I've kind of touched on this last night or yesterday afternoon, rather, in my life. Like, nobody's expecting of you to be happy all the time. It's impossible. The idea, though, remains is that you need to be aware that you are made of light. Ultimately, you're the golden Buddha. And so if you're temporarily going through a situation that's not pleasing to you, you need to remember that this is just 3D, and 3D can change at any moment when you start imagining what can be done and the kind of parallel reality you want to swim into next, okay? But feeling your emotions instead of rejecting them or worse, bottling them up is the worst thing that you can do to yourself. Feel through your anger, feel through your frustration, feel through your sadness, feel through whatever, and notice how those emotions, when you do acknowledge them, they don't stay. They don't have a reason to stay. They don't want to stay. They're just like temporary visitors, and temporary they are, right? So most of the time you're supposed to be in literal bliss, euphoria, magic, okay? It needs to happen like overnight, and this, that, and the other. That's the kind of situation. So, in conclusion, instant manifestations depend on the kind of cleanliness you have of the canvas of your life. Okay, I'm going to reclaim my metaphors from the copycat. Seriously, what is she doing? Cleansing your palette completely and reimagining your life literally from scratch. Like, all that other bullshit needs to go. I need to reevaluate everything And from that stance, instant manifestations are daily occurrences. Because at any passing minute, you can revolutionize your life by becoming somebody new. In that second that you've made that decision to create something else, it's there. Embrace it and this and that, even though, again, you might run into situations that are kind of like angering, impatience may come up and this and that, but don't stay there. Do not stay there. Do your best to imagine a different outcome, to imagine your manifestation, to imagine how this has nothing to do with you. This is a temporary situation, and ultimately your vision is victorious. And this is how the manifestation is instantaneous. I hope I did a good job answering this. All the information from me is below. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, ciao, ciao.